Okay, so now that I have my microphone on, you'll probably be able to hear me better. Okay, that works. So, first, I wanted to show you, in case you've never been to Arizona or Sedona, this is where I live. You can see my dog, I'm hoping. And that's Coda, and that's Bell Rock in Sedona. So we're looking at what the solar eclipse is going to look like in your life, but technically what it looks like in the world is when the sun and the moon align with the earth and create a shadow. And that's basically, I'm going to come back to this image later on when more people start joining us. But that's basically what the solar eclipse looks like. So as people join us, please drop a note in Facebook and let me know where you are in the world and what your name is and all that good stuff. Okay. The solar eclipse that is occurring right now happened technically on July 12th. Oh, okay, great. So Dean, my husband, is reminding me to remind you to, if you want to comment, click on the comment button below the video. Thank you. Or you can ask a question. And so July 12th hosted the solar eclipse in Cancer at 20 degrees. And solar eclipses usually represent the masculine energy in life. And where lunar eclipses represent the feminine energy. And so when there's a solar eclipse, typically 2 weeks later, there is a lunar eclipse. They work in tandem. They work together, and every 6 months. And so what you'll notice is that with eclipses, sometimes the lunar comes first or the solar. It really doesn't matter, but they represent both halves of your psyche and your being. And physically, they do have an impact on the earth, on structures of things in light and time, bacteria, animals might behave differently. Some people say in India not to cook food during an eclipse because there's just things are off and you might feel sick. So there's all kinds of things, myths as well with the eclipses. But basically, when we have in metaphysics, and when I'm looking at it through astrology, when we have a solar eclipse, there's a light that's cast on you and what you've been manifesting. So it's not like something just comes out of the blue. This is all about you and what you're doing with your energy. And the lunar eclipse will cast a glow on what you've been doing emotionally or what you're holding. And as the solar eclipse represents masculine energy and an actual man in your life, the lunar eclipse represents feminine. So we're going to talk about the solar eclipse, and I have my notes over here so I don't skip a beat. But knowing me, I will, because I have things to click on. And I'm wait, 2 screens, 3 screens. How many mouses do I have on my table? 3. Okay. So we are just allowing some people to join. Hi, Michelle is here. And also Griselda, what a beautiful name. January, Capricorn. And I know Dean is here too. All right. So the eclipses that are occurring and let me refer to my notes because I just interrupted myself. Oh, okay. So sometimes people think, oh, the eclipse is just for the day or the week that it's occurring in. It actually lasts a lot longer. And depending on where Cancer is in your chart, it will tell you what you can expect. And And that holds true for any eclipse. Wherever it falls in your particular chart will show what you can expect and where the highlights are. So with this solar eclipse in Cancer is coupled with many retrograde planets. And so it may not feel as intense as some other eclipses. But if you are a Cancer sign, a Capricorn rising, a Cancer moon, or a Cancer rising, you'll feel this the most because the intensity of the sign really shows itself in your body. You might feel extra tired or wired. Or my husband is a Cancer, and he woke up the morning of the eclipse at 2 a.m. He couldn't sleep. It didn't feel sick or anything. He just couldn't sleep. And so there's a lot of edginess that goes along with that, and people can lose their cool a lot quicker. And you'll see in the stage of the world when eclipses occur that there's a lot more intensity, there's a lot more bickering, and a lot more breakthroughs happen with people as well, a lot more discoveries in science. And then we look at the sign that the eclipse is in, and this being Cancer, there's going to be a lot more police action, there's going to be a lot more there's going to be a lot more of family matters. So if you look personally in your own life, I just want to make sure that that was not, I heard a sound coming from my mister. If you look personally in your life and you might see, oh, you know, I feel so excited and I'm so happy and everything's going great. You know, I'm just crazy happy. Wonderful. But we want to watch the extremes in an eclipse because usually when the highs get really high, then the lows soon follow. And people lose it that way and they go manic. So you want to be careful of extremes and eclipses. Now, just looking at my notes, as I said, they occur in tandem, solar and a lunar, and 2 weeks apart, and then every 6 months. But this summer, and if you're down under this winter, it's really awesome. We're having 3 eclipses, and that's pretty awesome for change and transformation because the spotlight, again, is put on what you're doing, what you really believe is true. So, you know, having 3 eclipses at the same time is, you know, whenever there is an eclipse at all, whether it's in your sign, rising sign or moon sign or not, it shows you, especially the solar eclipse, shows you the culmination of your past events. What have you been focused on? What have you been looking to achieve in the past 6 months? And then again, in the past year, we look back at every set of eclipses that have happened in life, and we can see repetitive patterns. And so you want to fast track what's going on for the future? This is the time. So now through September is when the eclipses are really going to be felt the most. And the lunar eclipse, which is coming up on July 27th at 4 degrees of Aquarius, we're going to have another live stream to talk about that in a couple of weeks. But that's going to bring up the shadow side of the feminine energy. Maybe you're being a little bit too passive. Maybe you're not being as assertive as you could be. And again, the topics of the signs themselves. Cancer represents food, family, real estate, writing, women's and children's issues, and the law and policing action. And so when there's an eclipse in that sign, it doesn't mean you are going to have a run-in with the law. Again, we don't know what your chart looks like, but what we're looking at is where can you take this energy that really accelerates vibration and accelerates particles in your being. Where can you take that and harness it and make it your own? And Liz says hello. Hi, Liz. Where can you do that? How can you do that in your life? And Memphis, what a great name. I love that name. And Kathy, hey. Oh, Kathy says, and I'll be taking some questions. Yeah, that's you, Kathy. Yes, it is you. I'm talking to you. Kathy says, my 6-year-old grandson is a Cancer and he is over the top right now. Okay, well, we want to minimize the dairy and the sugar. So you'll notice my daughter, our daughter Aaliyah, is 19, and she was extra tired this week and knowing to eat well because of, her mother. But at the same time, going for a little bit extra carb, going for that little bit extra sugar. So you want to be careful of the extremes. And with a child especially, sometimes they don't sleep. Our daughter never slept during an eclipse, ever, ever, ever. And when you get to that place, it's about, as an adult, if you're watching out for kids, then, pay attention to their behavior and minimize the sugar, the dairy, and understand that they're very susceptible to energies. Our daughter would wake up at 1 a.m. and come into our bedroom on a full moon, not even an eclipse, but a full moon, and come in and say, okay, get up, it's time to play. And we'd be like, oh my God, are you out of your mind? But we just have to work with that energy. And as an adult, however, if you're feeling extreme, or you're suddenly feeling like you want to bust out and get in the car and drive, away, you want to temper that by having healthy food. Remember, this is a Cancer eclipse. You want to eat sparingly on the sugar and the dairy. Cancer physically represents the chest in a man, the breast in a woman, and the stomach. So paying particular attention to digestion is really good at this time. And again, the energy lasts through September. So through September, you're going to notice, it's more intense in the next couple of weeks, but through September, you're going to notice that, oh, wow, I feel extra heavy. Maybe Cancer showing up in your 6th house. If we were to do a reading together, and on my Facebook page, we added a link, my husband and I, to the book now. If you wanted to book, I'm having a special event, eclipse event reading for only $97. And so if you wanted to book that, we would look at exactly where the eclipses are in your chart and how to maximize your potential with using them. So I'm going to tell you a story. I was so petrified once. Aaliyah, our daughter, was 3 years old, and there was an eclipse coming on exactly her degree, 12 degrees of Taurus. And I was starting to freak out, thinking, okay, is there going to be an illness? Is what's going to happen? And, sometimes my mind, being a Capricorn rising sign, my mind will veer toward the protective, negative, caution, red sign, alert. Something's going to happen. Are there locusts? Let me look outside. Is there a tornado coming? But then it goes away because I've trained myself to calm down, get in touch with what's really happening, and trust that spirit has my back. And, I want you to realize that things in the outside world aren't just random. We're all connected. All energy is connected. And so when you have an event that happens in your life, it is your personal, it's not because the planets are doing something to you. We live in a cooperation. The planets make a move, you feel it. You make a move, the planets reflect that. So this cooperation is showing you, what time is it for you, really? And as one astrologer said to me, it's time to plan it. When the planets are aligned, you plan. And planning for your success during an eclipse is about noting, where do you feel out of sync? Where do you feel disconnected? Because it's about connection, it's about trust, and it's about noting your extreme, emotions or reactions instead of responses. So our daughter was 3. It was a solar eclipse right on top of her sun, 12 degrees. And, I was biting my nails and meditating and praying and keeping a vigilant watch on her wherever she went. And then it happened. She potty trained all by herself. And then a week later, she went into the bedroom to play on her own, and she started reading all by herself. And then she came in and shared more affection with me. And she started to get the joke even more. I mean, she's very witty, but I noticed this transformation in her at the age of 3, and she made a huge leap, an acceleration in her consciousness. And it was also developmental, but that it happened so quickly, it opened doors in other areas for us to, as parents, for us to take note to say, okay, she's ready for this next thing. So, it's not good or bad what happens in an eclipse. It's timely to your process. So are all Cancers going to experience the same thing on the same day? No. Is there one sale at Macy's just for one sign? No. The planet, as I would tell my daughter who's interested in and been learning astrology, that the planets occur, planetary aspects and angles in your chart will occur, but you're the one who's going to feel it differently. You're unique. We lay the imprint of your soul or your spiritual energy, your personal karma on top of your chart. And then it becomes real for you. And then it's transformational for you. The July 12th solar eclipse fell on my sister's birthday, and she's on vacation now, and I was, with all the paperwork and recordings and talking to her on the phone, I was like, okay, be careful of driving. Okay, be careful of overeating. Okay, take your enzymes and have your, just all the precautionary stuff. And then I said, now it's time for you to relax. Relax and really take it all in. And I would recommend that everyone do the same, because having any kind of eclipse occur, again, it doesn't have to be in your sign or your rising sign or on your moon sign. It's something that really helps you to become aware of who you are. What are you manifesting? And so Memphis says, I've been in this focused mood, determined, restless, and in constant deep thought lately. Well, use that time. Thank you for saying that, Memphis. Use that time to consider, what are your options? And a lot of people think that, when we fast track, my students, my clients, people who have mentored with me, know to use the solar and the lunar eclipses as like a slingshot, where you can plan really well something that you want to put out into the world, a thought process, an idea, a project you want to accomplish, something that you would like to do that has meaning for you. Because what is apparent and glaringly apparent during eclipses is what's not real. In relationships, you're sitting, with an old friend, and you're talking, and they're chattering, and they're talking, and you're thinking, I would rather be over there connecting with nature, or this person is just, I'm not connecting with them anymore. Or the opposite. It's you meet someone or you reconnect with an old friend, a lover, partner, family member, and you say, I don't think I know you, and I want to know you more. Can we make this happen? Is that possible? And Kathy says, I know that feeling. Okay. So now Kate says, Sarah is having a C-section on Monday. What does it mean to be born during this time? Thanks for that question, Kate. Now let's just we don't all need to know Sarah, but all of us can visualize right now, if we put a protective bubble around Sarah, who's having a C-section, that she get exactly what she needs in the time that she needs it, not what we think she needs, but just those words, that she gets what she needs in the time that she needs it, and that there is protection for her and the baby, and that all will go well, then that's what will happen. At the same time, to be born during an eclipse means this child is choosing to become a sheer force in the world. And a lot of times eclipse babies are notably different in the way that they perceive, because they're very tied into emotions. They're very connected. And this child will be a Cancer, and Monday is the 16th. So happy birthday to Sarah's firstborn. I'm very happy for her. And coming into the world during an eclipse phase, being conceived during an eclipse phase, is pretty powerful. The kids are very electric. Our daughter was conceived during an eclipse, right? Actually, on the day of an eclipse, she was conceived. And so, it's like I never slept. She was electric personified. And she still is. She didn't sleep for 5 years. But so Kate, I think all will be well. And, sometimes, talking about health, and I do want to bring this up. I had a client many years ago who was a Scorpio, and she was diagnosed with an illness during a solar eclipse in her sign of Scorpio. And then she just fell apart. And she said to me, did the eclipse do this to me? And I said, no, absolutely not. Eclipses don't do things to you except shed light. Cast a glow if it's a lunar eclipse, shed light from the top down, bring to you what is most relevant in your awareness. You understand? So it did not make her ill, but it brought up the illness that was brewing inside her, that was already forming, so that she could get on top of it and to move into that next phase of healing. She had a very tortuous past. It was a tough life. And so her body was responding and reacting to it. So again, the solar eclipse is only going to shed light on what's happening in your life and what you are creating, not what the universe, there's no finger pointing, it's not good or bad. It's what you are creating. So if you want to use this energy right now, I would say fast track it by getting quiet in the next, today after this streaming event. Get quiet. Focus on what you really are drawn to. And it can be a health issue. It can be paperwork. It can be insurance matters. It can, not that, these are fun things. It's just what it's timely. When the time is right, there was another client of mine who she was really indecisive about a job opportunity, and we were coming up on an eclipse phase. And I said to her, if you focus on what you do want, the eclipses will shed light on what is not important for you. And that's key to note. So I urged her to network during the eclipses, the energies, not on the day of any eclipse, lay low, stay home, work, just keep your head down, do your thing, meditate, pray. But during the phase of the months ahead and the weeks ahead, I asked her to use that energy and really boost it to fast track her business by networking. And she did. And then a week later, and she was so happy, she made some contacts, and a week later, her major client, potential client, dropped off the face. That's it. Went ghost. And she freaked out. Oh my gosh, I did what you said, blah, blah. And I said, deep down, I want you to think about this person and your relationship to them and what was your main priority. And it was hard for her, but she admitted, she said it was greed. This person had a lot of money, they had a lot of clout, and I wanted them. So she was attached to a potential client that could, boost her reputation, great, but at the same time, it was not an authentic connection. This is all about authenticity and being intentional about your creations, right? Yay! I think so. I got to get here's my Harry Potter cup, Lumos. When I put hot water in it, it gets lighter. I'm such a Harry Potter freak. Okay, is this making sense? Let me know in the comment box. You're welcome, Kate, Griselda, beautiful name. There was a solar eclipse on January 5th, 1992. I was born January 6th. Am I an eclipse baby? Yes, you are. Get out the party favors and have some cake. January 5th. Right now, you've got a lot of Capricorn energy with the Pluto and Capricorn and Saturn. So you want to take care of your body. Listen, if you are a Capricorn or Capricorn rising or Capricorn moon sign, and I do have a mentee client who is a Capricorn moon, and I said to her, all the issues with your bones are going to come up. And she's got 3 different healing facilitators. She has scoliosis to heal what's going on in her body. Of another client who was in a back brace in her teen years, and she's also a Capricorn moon. And I'm a Capricorn rising, and I'm going through a major healing with my body and my hormones and my bones. So I'm stretching more. I get up 5 minutes every hour. So I'm taking care of my body. And I want you to note that if you do have a lot of Capricorn energy in your chart, that with this solar eclipse in Cancer, the Capricorn energy is an opposite energy. I want to make sure my hands are in the screen. There we go. It's backwards, so it's like I go that way, but I'm actually going that way. So there's a polarity that's happening and there's a pull. So you might, it's like being put on the rack, it's like, oh, I'm being stretched. In what direction? Emotionally, mentally, psychologically, intellectually. Just doing this was a learning curve for me. I wanted to have a big temper tantrum. It's like, I just want to show up and talk. Do I have to like press buttons and work on key coding and, color things and blah? So yeah, I did. Okay. And so I had my tantrum. Georgiana Marolakos, my cousin. Thank you. We're going to have tantrums. We have hissy fits, but come back to center. Put a timer on. Put a timer on for 5 minutes, and you bitch and you moan and she said that and they did this and it never worked and blah blah. And then have a cookie, take a breath. It's all good. You come back to center and you come back to what's real, and that's what's important in eclipses. So as I was telling Griselda, who was born the day after an eclipse, that when you have opposites occurring, now we're coming up on a lunar eclipse in Aquarius, so Aquarius sun, rising moon, Leo sun, rising moon, and then Taurus and Scorpio sun, rising moon, they are most affected, but everyone's affected. You can't live in a closet and say, it doesn't affect me. When it rains, it affects you. When it rains, my hair does wee. I get like, my husband calls it Jersey hair. And it's a little bit tame today because I made it that way. But, you're affected by the elements. And when I look at astrology, I don't look at the planets or making you do something. It's a cooperation. So if you would like to cooperate with this particular eclipse, as in the opposites, if you're the Capricorn energy to the Cancer, that is stop fighting. Just relax. Take care of your body. Let things flow. And in general, I'm going to just go off topic a little bit. My husband said, don't go off to grandma's house. But, I like to do that sometimes because everything matters at this time. We're in 5 retrograde planet energies right now. So that means we're all going inward. We're all deciding what really works for us. I'd rather just plant a garden. I want to just cook or read a book, or I just want to stay home and turn off the TV but put on a movie. I want to binge watch, some great show. So we're going in to decide what really works for us and how it can work. And so by using this particular eclipse energy in Cancer is very nurturing, but it doesn't nurture by like a Leo would nurture or a Taurus would nurture, which is, what do you need? Let me make it for you. Let me help you. Let me be there. So Cancer is more nurturing through food, through finances, through, as I said earlier, police action. And that is protection and feeling connected to something that's below the surface, because the moon energy, Cancer is guided by the moon. It fluctuates. It can be moody, but at the same time, it can be very, very sensitive to the needs of others. So when you suddenly get a phone call to, head up a volunteer team at a project in your town, you might be thinking, why me? Well, let's look at your chart. Where in you, and let's look inside of you, where in you do you feel that you want to be contributing more? And, and I'm sure we'll see the eclipses. Now, the eclipses work in tandem in opposites. So when I look at people's charts, and I'll see the eclipse in maybe one sector, maybe a financial sector of income, but then the lunar eclipse will be in the opposite of the financial sector of the group. Joint resources, how you make your money is income. What you do with your money, how you spend it, how you receive energy, sensuality, what kind of sex you're having. Do you have estate planning in order? So a lot of these topics will come up. And I just did a chart for someone, and he is a Cancer, and he was looking at increasing business in a particular field. And, and I said, it's coming down to this, with all these retrograde planets, with you as a Cancer sun and the eclipse in Cancer, an opportunity might come out of left field, right? But is it really out of the blue? I mean, the unconscious world, your subconscious, your non-conscious, is all shades of blue. So some part of you is hoping, wishing, dreaming, wanting, desiring this opportunity. So, we'll see what happens. And here's what you can do in the meantime to move forward with it. And that is to set a very clear boundary about the clients you don't want to have anymore, so that you stop saying yes to everybody. And to be very specific about that. So let me look back, and if anybody has a comment. Oh, Jesse. Wow to you too. Hi, Jesse. April 18th, Aries Sun, Scorpio Rising, Capricorn Moon. Just logged on as you spoke about bones. This is so happening for me right now, she says. So good to see you. Thank you for this live post. And you're welcome. I'll be doing these every week, because if they're popular and people benefit by them, I want to be part of your awareness and your growth and your happiness, and to be a catalyst, because that's my job, is to help you feel empowered. So Jesse, Aries Sun, Scorpio Rising, you're on it anyway. Do you ever sleep? I don't think so. Hang on. So the Capricorn moon part is what I'm most concerned with. And the bones, that means looking at where you hold, the Aries in you would be looking at doing. The Scorpio rising is also doing, but in your face, in someone's face. So you want to back up now. You want to settle down a little bit, and you want to take care of your body and what you need emotionally. And here's something for everyone, not just for Jesse, but if you have a physical issue in your world, you get an ache, you get a pain, but it's recurring, I want you to pay attention to the emotions that precede it. The day before, 2 days before, did you just have an argument with someone? Were you denying an emotion? Were you hiding from being honest about something? Was anything less than what I tell our daughter Aaliyah is, anytime your emotions go from negative to neutral to positive, we want to go from neutral to positive as much as possible. And when you're in the negative field, and you may be pushing it down and not paying attention to it, just like, oh, it'll go away, or I'll deal with it later, I'm too busy. Then it comes out in an eclipse phase, and it will come out as a pain or an ache or an ow, where did that come from? Or, you yawn or you sneeze and suddenly you're in a muscle spasm, and, you can't walk for 3 days. That happened to me in November. So what is it that you're holding? This is what you want to ask yourself. What is it that you're holding emotionally, and look at the correlation between what you're holding emotionally and how it affects your physical body. Now, your bones would be the Capricorn energy. Also, the skin, the teeth, the joints, the nails, the structure, because Saturn guides Capricorn, and Capricorn and Saturn represent the structure in life, ambition, how you set up a structure, a foundation for business, how you sit, how you work. Sometimes I'll find myself at my desk like this. And ow, why did I just do that to myself? So you want to look at these kinds of things in your body. So I want to go back to this visual. I hope that's helping people. And I can only see so many comments at the same time. So if you've written a comment and I don't see it, I apologize if I didn't get to it, because I'm only able to apparently see 4 comments at the same time. So keep writing if there's something you'd like to talk about. You can click the Book Now link on my Facebook page and set up a private session with me. It's a special eclipse session, and we'll cover all the eclipses. We're not just having a solar eclipse in Cancer, but we're also having a lunar eclipse in Aquarius, 4 degrees Aquarius, on July 27th. I will do a special live event again to talk about that. And then August 11th, we're having another solar eclipse. So it's a sandwich of 3 eclipses back to back to back to show you what is possible about accelerated growth in your world. Okay, so let me get back to my notes. You can give me a thumbs up or a smiley face if this is helping you. And I just have to move something on my page to get back to There we go. Here's what the solar eclipse looks like. And I'm hoping that this is working and you can actually see this photograph. If not, you're seeing my face. So the sun is here. There's the universe, then there's the moon, and then there's the earth. So they line up in a direction that's all pretty much in line with each other. And this was not a total solar eclipse. It was a partial. So it's not as intense on the energy of the earth, but it's still very much working to your benefit if you know how to work it. And I want to help you to do that. And then the lunar eclipse is actually the opposite, where you see the earth is in line with the sun. But we'll get to that in a couple of weeks. Okay. Hi, I'm back again. Okay. So big smiley face from Casey. Thank you, Robin. Thumbs up. I appreciate that. So what else did I want to talk about? Everything in astrology and metaphysics, numerology, clairvoyance, empathy, all the metaphysical studies and practices, it's all about learning how to trust yourself and your inner guidance and what you truly believe, and to move from relief to gratitude. You know the difference? Can you discern that? Relief is, I just made my bills. I'm so lucky. Gratitude is, I'm so grateful that I have these opportunities to make my bills, or that this thing came in at the last moment and helped me to make my bills. So that's gratitude, and that's not grasping. Relief is in fear and doesn't trust. But gratitude attitude is, you know what? Let's do an exercise right now. I don't want to just talk about it. Think about something you really want, something that you've been hoping to achieve for a while. It can be, a future project that we're thinking about working on with someone. It can be maybe dropping some weight, getting into better physical shape, regardless of weight. Maybe it's about becoming more connected in your relationships to someone. Getting a better job, that's more of a career than just a job. Think about that right now. I'm going to take a sip from my Harry Potter mug while you think about what it is you really want to manifest. Okay, do you have it in your head? Perfect. Now I want you to imagine, that you're actually getting that thing. Close your eyes. You're actually getting it. It's coming. People are congratulating you. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy for you. This is so amazing. It's what you've wanted. And you start to feel that. While your eyes are closed and you're feeling this, I want you to go deeper. What's the big reason behind wanting this thing? Will you be validated? People say, I want more money. Yeah, because life will be easier. But go a little bit deeper. The eclipses bring up go beyond what's superficial and surface. And there's nothing superficial about wanting money. I'm not judging it. I'm just saying we want to go to core, because when you know what the core of the issue is, then you know how to navigate and negotiate your manifesting style and technique. And then you can increase your awareness, your intuition. So what's the big reason behind it? Will you be more validated? Will you feel safer if you get this thing? Will you feel sexier? Will you feel not so alone? Maybe you'll make more money. It's okay, whatever it is, it's okay to want what you want, but we want to be clear about the why. Why? Yeah, I want life to be easier. Great. Why? So that I don't have to struggle. Why? So that I feel, and keep going until you get to the core, and the core might be because I've never felt worthy or deserving of this happy thing. And so that would be the core, not the money. You see, the core is where the truth is, and that's where we want to get to. So once you know the big reason, what you want and what you need and what you're manifesting from all parts of you are different matters, physical matters. They create different things. So if you had one core, let me just grab here. Okay. So here's my, it's like, this is you, but you see all the facets? Let me show that. Can you see that? See all the facets inside of this crystal? That is like a representation of all parts of you. And, there's the whole that knows that it's connected to everything. But then there's the part that is fractured and says, oh, I'm so lonely. I wish I had somebody in my life. And, I just want somebody to know me, or just want somebody to like me or care about me, or I just want companionship. Okay, great. So once you know what you want, now we want to know why. Why do you want it? Well, because I won't be so lonely. Why? Because then I won't what? What's the answer? Keep going until you get to the core, and this is the time to do it during this particular eclipse. Because once you know core, you can manifest the thing much faster. Woohoo! Tip. Because here's the big tip. Eclipses fast track what you're manifesting. Fast track your intention. So it's not so much I want the thing, it's the reason I want the thing is this. And once you know the this, the why, that why gets amplified, projected out, and then your aura field starts to attract to you. Now, because we are in 5 retrogrades, it may take a little bit longer, might be a little bit more delayed because the retrogrades are showing you, are you sure? Are you sure you want that? Really? Are you sure? You're saying you want it and you're acting like you want it, but I don't know. The universe is saying, I don't know. Are you sure? So that's why you want to know your why. So now, are there any more questions in Facebook? I think we might wrap this up soon. I want you to get on over to the rain. Okay, well then Casey needs to do a rain dance because she wants rain. Why? Because then she can stand in the rain and smell the petrichor. And her flowers will grow. Kathy wants to write a book. Okay. So having written a few books, I can tell you that the hardest part is sitting down and actually just writing. You can get all your stuff in place, your research, all that stuff. Cool. But you need to just sit down and start writing. And then once you start writing, all the fear, the judgment, the negation, the invalidation that your psyche is going to throw at you is going to come, oh, this sucks. He's going to want to read it. What kind of publisher can I get? I can't make any money. Okay, just set your timer for 5 minutes and have your little temper tantrum, put it aside and get back to writing. And just write. Let it flow. Let it pour through you. And then you can always find an editor, a friend. There's always writing groups to just start writing. So here's a question. Ha ha ha. When is your next book and what sign will be represented? Well, thank you for that question. The next book is called, it's the astrological sign. For those of you who don't know, I'm also a historical fiction author and historical fiction author. And I have a book series called the Sign of the Time series, One Soul's Epic Journey Through 12 Lifetimes. And Sign of the Times, I did Aries, Fire, and then 10 Steps of the Bull. And now I'm focused on the Gemini. So the first one was for Aries, Taurus. And now the third one is Gemini, and it is the Viking Queen. And she is a Gemini. We're going to be stationed in Ireland and some fun places, maybe Scotland. And I'm only researching it because I'm working on the metaphysical side of business right now. So that part is not written yet. I wrote 1 page because I'm focused on this business. But I'll get to it, and it'll be fun. So that's the thing I'm going to be focused on in these eclipses. My Leo moon, I have a Leo moon. Well, when the Leo eclipse comes in August, I know I'm going to push aside all this stuff. I'm going to clear off my desk. Nobody talk to me or call me. I am going to be typing and I'm going to be writing. So I'm excited about that. Kathy, you're welcome. Oh, here's a great question. How do I quit smoking during this time? You're a Capricorn. Okay, so Capricorn energy attaches and has a hard time because of the emotions surrounding life and how sensitive you are deep down. So the quitting the smoke actually creates a barrier between you and your emotions. So chemically, physically, you are addicted to a chemical. So your body, your biology needs to detox from that. So I used to smoke and I went cold turkey. I just stopped. And of course, my body had a whole detox phase. So you want to do it in a healthy way. You want to make sure that you can use a patch. These things work for some people. You can go cold turkey, but you need to eat well. You need to breathe through the moments. You need to not find replacements for your attachment. So fast tracking that during this time is focused on health for you as a Capricorn. So again, if you want to book a reading with me, you can click the Book Now button, or you can email me if you want more information about it at AUM1133. I'm sorry, nope, scratch that. It is Elaine at astrologymojo.com because we are working on getting your mojo back. Yes, it is valid, Casey, to tell your inner voice to just stop talking. You can do that. And you can listen to music. You can go running. Wouldn't that be fun for people to do the opposite of what they really do? And that'd be a whole reality show. Okay, folks, thanks for all the hearts. I appreciate this. I'll be back probably next week. I'm going to set up another one of these, so please join me. And if you're not part of the Mojo, Astrology Mojo site, please head on over to astrologymojo.com and you can sign up for my newsletter and then get notifications for events like this. It's been fun. It's been a pleasure. Have a sparkly day, and remember to go home and meditate on what it is you really want and why you want it, and start expanding that energy into the world and being part of your life in a very intentional way. Have fun. Have fun with it. And so I'm going to take my Lumos cup and I'm going to go for Knox. Okay. Ending now. Thank you. See you next time.